Alright, it's Deadlift Day. My favorite. Now we're going to talk about Psalm 57. Yes, 57. Relax. We're getting close though, aren't we? We're past the 1/3 mark. That's cool. So yeah, we're just going to keep warming up here, 185. Psalm 57, it's another David psalm. It was written in a cave. The first time, because when David first ran away from Saul, go back and read all about this, 1 Samuel. And, wait, 1 Samuel? Yeah, I always get confused when it jumps from first to second. But yeah, so he's running away from Saul, and he hides in a cave. Very interesting story that you probably never read. So, we're going to get into it, but just imagine you're in a cave and you're afraid for your life. What's going through your mind? Because, people are trying to kill you. Alright, so let's see what's going on with David. I said, imagine what it'd be like for you to be in the situation. Well, let's see what David acts like. Be merciful unto me, O God. Be merciful unto me. For my soul trusteth in thee. Yea, in the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge until these calamities be overpassed. That's an interesting illustration. Hiding in the wing as if David's like a baby bird and God is the parent bird, more than likely the mother bird, depending on which type of bird we're talking about. That's not the point. The point is that, you hide from the storm, and as a baby bird, you really don't even know what a storm is. So maybe you just know you gotta hide because mommy said so. I don't know. But anyway, you're hiding from the storm until it blows over. And that's the part I think that David or you or this bird might be the most afraid of. Like, we don't know how long it's going to last. We know it's going to be over, but the question is, how long is the storm going to last? How long are you going to be hiding in the cave? He says, I will cry unto God Most High, unto God that performeth all things for me. Oh, that's pretty good. All things, God's going to do it. God can do anything. So, even though he's in the middle of the storm, in the middle of this problem, he still knows where his help is coming from. So, he's not questioning that. He knows that. Because otherwise he wouldn't be, he says, I will cry unto God Most High, unto God that performeth all things for me, as opposed to say, well, man, maybe I hope, and then if something doesn't happen, then I'll go to some other God and see how that works. Try that for a while. If that doesn't work, I'll go to another God, try that one for a while. Because in the moment, people get impatient and all that. Not going to do it. He shall send from heaven. He already knows what God's going to do. He's trusting it. He's confident. He shall send from heaven. Now, he might, or I hope, he will send from heaven and save me from the reproach of him that would swallow me up. Selah. So I want you to think about that. I want you to pause for a minute and realize this is who God is. This is what God does. You know, God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. All right, so let's think about that. That's very figurative language, of course. I mean, imagine if that was literal. You know, your teeth and your tongue are weapons. Like, it would be really hard to eat food. So that's not, but at the same time, he's doing everything he just described there has to do with the mouth, right? Teeth are spears and arrows, tongue a sharp sword. Yeah, it's just weird to think about, but it's not literal at all. But you think about it. He uses the fire illustration. These people are fired up. They're excited about this filth that's coming out of their mouth, garbage, these attacks that are coming out of their mouth. All the things that people were saying about David. And it's funny because although it is true that God had used Samuel to anoint David to be the next king of Israel, David was not trying to cause a rebellion. He was not trying to steal Saul's throne. He was not, starting an insurrection or some sort of mutiny. He was waiting, being patient on God. And it's funny because David was going to be the next king, but he wasn't trying to take over. It's funny how those two things can be true at the same time. And it's people don't understand how hard this is sometimes. Like the patience in the moment versus just, you know, yeah, it's a reality David's going to be king, but don't take that the wrong way. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Don't take it the wrong way. Saul, run out your reign and be happy that God let you be king in the first place. That when you failed to disobey God, He didn't just take it away from you right away. He let you finish being king. So that's God being merciful and gracious to somebody that had blown their chance. And now he's so mad that David's going to be the next one. He wants to kill him. And Saul knew that. You can tell from not just the behavior, but he actually says it to David at one point when he's chasing him. Oh, let's do this. All right, not bad. Cool being David. Not right now, I guess. He's in a cave. But man, he had an interesting life. So his attitude in the moment is great, right? He's confident, even though he's in the middle of the problem. I shouldn't be yawning. I had pre-workout, I swear. And now again, he's in the middle of a problem. What does he do? Oh man, not what you normally see. Not what you normally see. Starts praising God in the middle of the problem. Kind of reminds me of some guys in the New Testament. Paul and Silas, remember? In the middle of their problem, they're singing, they're praising God and singing songs loudly, loud enough where it kind of freaks everybody out even before the angel comes and unlocks all the doors. Well, causes an earthquake to unlock all the doors. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let thy glory be above all the earth. And, his confidence level right now is so high, considering everything he's in the middle of here. Saul's trying to kill him. He's alone. He doesn't have friends. And he will eventually, people do start coming to him. He doesn't know that's going to happen. We know because we can read the whole story, start to finish. But in the moment, he had no idea what his next move was going to look like. And so he's praising God. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have digged a pit before me, into the midst whereof they are fallen themselves. So even there, he's so confident that their evil plan is going to backfire. Even though it doesn't look like it in the moment, because he's the one hiding, he's the one running, he's the one in the cave. But he's already anticipating what God's going to do. My heart is fixed, O God, my heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise. Now, let's think about that word for a minute. It doesn't mean my heart is fixed as in the opposite of broken, which that might be true, but that's not what that word means in this old King James Bible. Got the old King James here with these words that don't mean what they mean. So you got to translate the Bible into English. Then you have to translate the English into words we actually use today. So you got to double translate anytime you use a King James Bible. Fixed here is more like focused or attentive. Like when we don't talk like this. So why am I even explaining it this way? I don't know, but it's like you fix your eyes on something, or you focus on something. He's talking about how focused he is here, how attentive he is to God. Specifically, my heart is fixed, O God, my heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise. So the focus here is that he's focused on praising God in spite of the problem. He's attentive to praising God in spite of the problem. He goes, awake up, my glory. Awake, psaltery and harp. I myself will awake early. So he's not laying around, having a pity party, feeling sorry for himself, being a crybaby. He's getting up early. Why? I don't know. I mean, you're hiding in a cave. I don't know how much activity you have to do during the day, but he's going to get up early. And he's going to praise God. And, if he means this literally, he's running for his life, but he remembered to take his guitar with him, or his harp. I don't know how big his harp was. Maybe it was small enough, it had travel-sized harp. I don't know how that worked back then. But here's his mindset. Listen to these next couple verses. I will praise thee, O Lord, among the people. I will sing unto thee among the nations. For thy mercy is great unto the heavens, and thy truth unto the clouds. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let thy glory be above all the earth. So that's how he ends it. So I'm going to do this, and then we'll finish that. Let this idea marinate, because hopefully you noticed already that he says something at the beginning and the end of this little praise and worship section that I want to really get into. But first, some more deadlift. And I will take this off, because I might have to breathe heavy to move these weights. Yeah, that took some work. Come on, work. There we go. All right, so what did he say here? Let's get into that. It was good. So in verse 5 and verse 11, all right, he bookends this little praise. It's like a song within a song, Or, if you want to really make it technical, you could almost make it like, here's the story behind the song, and then here's the song. I mean, it's all one song, but, it's almost like, here's some backstory. And then here's like this little praise and worship song that he writes. Really short, not a lot of words. You don't have to have a lot of words. I think I might have to make a video about that. Because people fight and argue about him, praise and worship, psalms, and this and that. The last time I checked, the Bible said to sing all three. So anyone's out there arguing for just one, they're automatically wrong. Okay? If you only want praise and worship music, you're wrong. If you only want hymns, you're wrong. We're supposed to do psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. So if you only like one type of music, as if there's only one way to do any of those in the first place, you're just wrong. But he starts off with, be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens, let thy glory be above all the earth. And then down in verse 11, he ends it with the same thing. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens, let thy glory be above all the earth. He's in a cave. Okay? Like, he's got all these things that he should be, or I didn't even say should be, could be, and more than likely we would be worrying about. He's just interested in how big and bad his God is, and how his glory is above all the earth. Like, this earth can't contain God's glory, which makes sense because, again, it's a figure of speech, but we say, he's in the Bible, he holds the world in the palm of his hand. His glory isn't big enough for the world itself to contain it. And David's sitting here, let that glory be above and beyond all these things. In the middle of my little problem here, I'm in this cave, Saul wants to kill me. So I'm worshiping this God whose glory is bigger, not just in my problem, it's bigger than this whole world. Like, David's perspective here is awesome. And I think it's so a good reminder for us, when we're talking about dealing with things. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff people get overwhelmed by. And some of them are legitimately like problems. But then other stuff you see people getting bent out of shape about. And you're just scratching your head like, and it's like everyday life for a lot of people, and you're having a little meltdown about it. But David was running for his life, and he's still, God, you're awesome. God, you're bigger. God, you're better. God, you're stronger. God, your glory is bigger than this whole earth. It's beyond the heavens. I don't know what David's concept of the heavens was, like how they thought about what's beyond what we see in the stars. But either way, knowing that God's glory is beyond even that, it's inconceivable that somebody can have that perspective. The way we treat the Old Testament sometimes, but David did, and so did a lot of other people actually in the Old Testament. Read it. Don't take my word for it. Go read it. You'll learn a lot. This Bible here doesn't even have the Old Testament. That's a shame. Go out, have a good day if you want to.